A few things to get here. Let's see. This from Sam Hyde. White ladies saving the world again. They've become a rather problematic bunch, haven't they? Let's take a look at this. 3, 2, 1, go.
They get married or have children?
No.
Thank God.
I am going to be a teacher, and I am going to indoctrinate the youth.
It's the tactic that works, period.
White ladies are saving the world yet again.
No, they're not.
I know he's not a fascist, but it's more just of getting the community together.
There's this sort of sickness.
For them, words are just a means to deceive humans. I believe that's what Freeman said.
In the white soul.
I think it's like that post-colonial guilt.
I didn't own slaves, but I'm a weirdo.
But you all brung us here. White Christians had nothing to do with it.
War takes out the protectors of society.
You fought for nothing. You fought for nothing.
If you join the military, you're essentially just signing away your life to become a tool for you know what.
What have the families of Ukraine lost?
If you're a teacher, a nurse, a firefighter,
Nah,
and you're
we
walking
can't show
around
the
and you're
uncensored
saying
stuff here.
You're gloating
We'd
over
get
somebody
banned.
dying. You should be out of a f***ing job.
You're a physician? I wouldn't trust you to mow my f***ing lawn.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in the states, grew a pair and went and shot somebody on the right side.
It doesn't benefit us to live in a society that
Yeah, remember
tolerates
that's what the other
people
side was
gloating
saying,
about
chat.
death.
This person should not be around children. They should not be holding a needle that's injecting anything into your body. They shouldn't be allowed to prepare food for anybody else to consume. Maybe Amazon warehouse worker is what people like this should be entrusted with. It's the
I don't know, that would probably be an insult to Amazon warehouse workers.
tactic that works, period. And that's what our enemies have been exploring, pursuing, with a tenacity that we're not going to be able to match because we're not evil, obsessed cretins.
It teaches any children being raised and seeing this that is an acceptable option of behavior and mentality.
While the CEOs and QR code descriptions are on one side of the card, on the other side is an image of a shooting target.
Get it, pause. I mean, it's just free speech, and these people are.
They hate you and want you dead. Another reminder.
The only caveat I would say to anybody who's enjoying the CEO killing is that they're the degenerate, autistic, Antifa type people who like revel in violence, that sickness, that mental sickness. You don't want that in your skill build. You don't want that in you. So that's the only thing I would say. This has nothing to do with fighting the power or anything like that. This is a display of force, a victory
Hydrate, redeem.
You do not want to be a kid wearing a Trump hat getting his ass beat by a pack of informed citizens. That type of will change your life. There are some people who can get socked in the face and bounce back from it reasonably okay. Chances are, if you're a cerebral, thoughtful person, if you are a wallflower type dude, that's not you. Getting hit is going to totally ruin your life. All the people cheering for his assassination, the average leftist, the reason why they're a leftist is because they know subconsciously that they're too ugly and too inept to make it on their own, that they have to invert the power structure and become the recipient of other people's wealth just for being an ugly wreck. That's the way a lot of leftists work. I do believe God wants
Too ugly and stupid to make it in normal times, so they pervert the times and pervert the institutions to where they can thrive, and meanwhile, normal people have to suffer. As a person with autism, I do not claim, and on behalf of the Guild of Autismus, we reject them.
wants California to burn.
You know, it's weird. I believe that.
Do you think it's just like maybe Rogan wants it to burn so everyone else will move to Austin?
That too.
Rogan's a big real estate
Well, then Austin will have the same problem as California.
play.
For us humans,
Austin already
to
has the
root
same
for that
problem as
violence. I don't
California.
know if that's a
I'm not
righteous
rooting
thing.
for that.
I don't know if it's a righteous
Yeah.
thing. As racial tension grows, someone's gonna play the knockout game with you, and you're not gonna be invited to play. You're gonna get clocked in the side of the head if you're in a city.
Well, the point is, in a city, you're surrounded by.
You're so close. You're so close to people that you have no option. You have no option to, like, you have no privacy. You have no ability to like to be away from these people, man. As it is ramping up, you don't want to be around people right now. Even if we weren't living through this media-driven jacking up of racial tension, you would still get your laptop stolen. You would still be like, there's a filth that is on the ground. There's a filth that permeates the air in cities that you track into your house with you. Even if you go into a rich person's house, you still have the filth of the street. You're still hearing sirens all the time. There are people who say that's comforting. The people who say that's comforting are sick in the head. You want to be you want to get away from them. Okay, it's not comforting.
Yeah, no, it's not comforting. It's actually, if anything, it brings distress. It brings psychological distress. Man was not meant to live in neighborhoods with constant noise and sirens going all hours of the night. He was meant to live in quieter settings, farms and homesteads, if you will, quaint villages. But even in the cities, he was meant to live in quiet communities, quiet, respectable communities, where you don't really have to worry about that sort of thing. Going by Danish history, once things go too far south, people drag such persons out of their homes and parade them around, trial them, and deal out sentences. Eventually it gets so bad that, it becomes a matter of mob justice. We're getting to that point, slowly but surely, in a lot of other Western countries. Irina Zerutsa's killer is being deemed too stupid for trial. In another time and place, an angry mob would have dealt out mob justice against them. But we don't live in such times anymore. And it's one of those things where the people who do take action to mete out justice and to take their countries back, they're not only going to be dealing with a hostile foreign presence, they're also going to have to take on their own governments. So they're going to be dealing with it from two sides, because the government would rather put down the native population than ever admit that they made a mistake.
You want a gun.
The problem is that white people have lost their have not only lost any sense of in-group preference or identity. I'm talking about on the whole. Not only have we lost a sense of like group cohesion, but we actually like prefer other groups. There's this sort of sickness in the white soul that's like
that is pure self-loathing. At that point, that is pure self-loathing, and it's a self-loathing that is not naturally occurring. It's self-loathing that is the product of propaganda, brainwashing, indoctrination. People are taught to hate themselves, to hate where they came from. It is a type of foreign sickness. What is natural is to love oneself, love one's people, love one's heritage. This collective self-loathing, it is unnatural, and about as unnatural as the people who have done the indoctrination and the propagandizing.
Give it all away, throw it all away, let the outsider take over.
I think it's like that post-colonial guilt.
But is it a trained thing or is it a genetic thing? How does it, the mechanisms behind that? I feel like
I think it's trained.
There's a
Yes.
no, there's a void here. There's like an intellectual void of specifically explaining that. I think pathological altruism, just that term, you can throw it out and it makes you feel like you have a handle on what's happening. Who were the Protestants that came over? Who came over on the Mayflower?
That was Puritan, right?
Puritans? There was something I was
A form of
looking at.
Protestantism.
The guy was writing something about how he felt shame for like loving his own child more than some hypothetical child. And this is in like the 1700s or whenever. I feel like it's not an easy answer. I feel like it's something genetic. Patrice, remember the Patrice O'Neill clip about this creep song?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's talking about what white people.
Yeah.
We'll pull that up. He's talking about how
It's going to take propagandizing going hard in the opposite direction to correct course. It really is. And that's going to scare a lot of people, including a lot of people on the right, who once again will try to devolve things into infighting, punching right, internecine conflict, You're just going to have to learn to reject and ignore those voices. And if need be, deny them a platform. Because it's going to come to the moment of truth and they're going to flinch. They're going to blink. They're going to choke. And those people will have forfeited any sort of influence or legitimacy at that point. I was actually listening to a really good episode of Based Camp, where so much of the online right can be traced back to a fracturing of the skeptics movement, where many of those who now constitute the online right grew up, matured, found Jesus, got married, had children, and basically realized that, you know, what they believed before was wrong, and they've done a bit of a mea culpa. But the one thing that Malcolm and Simone pointed out that is a problem within the modern right and the online right is this tendency to purity spiral. It's almost like an Achilles heel. And that's something we're going to have to unlearn. Purity spiraling does no one any good. Purity spiraling eventually leaves you with a self-destructed movement, with no power, no legitimacy, no relevance, no influence, and will perennially rob you. It will snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. We can't have it. No more purity spiraling. No more punching right. And the people who do it, they'll need to be dealt with by basically ejecting them from the movement. It becomes the more fundamental question. Do you want to be a beautiful loser? Then purity spiral away. Do you want to win? Then you need to stop purity spiraling. Purity spiraling is a tactic of questioning oneself. Yes, and often at the most inopportune moments. Oftentimes when you're so close to a victory, it seems that's when someone, controlled opposition, agent saboteurs, useful idiots, they start up the purity spiraling. They start up the infighting. And each time, we need to ask people, do you want to win? Or do you just want to be a beautiful loser? Because here's the thing about people. People love a winner. They will not tolerate a loser. The fact that we're able to have these discussions in open forums and on open streams like this is a testament to how far we have come and just how much ground has been gained by the right in the culture war. But a cultural victory is nothing unless you can secure the institutions of power. As long as our enemies hold the institutions of power, a cultural victory is meaningless, because they will just hit the big reset button on the culture, flood the zone with everything like they've done before, and all of our gains will just be wiped out, and probably in one fell swoop. We're not going to capture the institutions by purity spiraling. We're going to have to play the pragmatic realpolitik game. We're already having to do that to a certain extent. Certain people who hold political office, certain people who are deemed contenders for future political office, both sides of the pond. Are they perfect matches for what we need? No. Actually, I should clarify that further. It's not a matter of need. Is it exactly what we want? No. Is it what we need in the moment? Yes. That's a better way of putting it, I think. Much as I would love to see people who are unabashedly hard right-wingers running, standing, and even winning political office, we are going to have to adopt the Van Jones policy. We are, for now, going to need to drop the radical pose to achieve the radical ends. Many of our intentions will have to be concealed. Many of our goals and objectives will have to be obfuscated. We must preach the need for change, but we mustn't reform too much at once. Too much change scares people, prompts a backlash. We've got to be slow and subtle about it. I know what you're thinking, but Rex, we're running out of time. You're right. We are running out of time. But this is the reality on the ground that we have to work with. The losers call is the immortal concept of not being self-aware, never growing a fancy strut of balls, and always cowards in the face of bravery and honesty, yes. The war amongst the public is not yet lost. No, it's not yet lost. There is still hope. Again, the fact that we're talking about these things now proves there is still hope. That's why I say don't blackpill. Blackpilling is gay and retarded. Burn like a candle for years instead of a bonfire for the night. Exactly, no name. Be an evergreen.
White people, the key to understanding them is the song.
You need a beautiful, tight pussy. You need rosy cheeks with lots of makeup and beautiful puckered lips with red lipstick that look like.
That's not really what you
You
need.
have to make your mouth, paint it red to be suggestive of a vagina that is fertile. And you have to paint your cheeks red to be suggestive of buttocks. White ladies
Yeah, don't
are
do
saving
that.
the world yet again. They're on Instagram. I
They're not
can't
really.
open Instagram or fucking Twitter for 5 seconds without seeing a beautiful, cute, adorable, "Oh, will you marry me?" Sweetie saving the world with her work ethic, stick-to-itiveness, skill, critical thinking. Oh wait, I meant beauty, makeup, and clothing.
Yeah, they're really pulling themselves up by the bootstraps
Going
there.
on down there, and I went down there and it was a bunch of fat cat lady slut.
Yeah,
and a bunch of like bandana wearing skinny tattoo artist puts.
And it turned into a bunch of rapes too. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, they were just
so they set up these tents, and there would be these like cute little college girls. It was just cute girls there, and guys would sneak into their tents and finger them.
Yeah, that's who. Like they look like tattoo guys that weren't the one.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the 6th most important tattoo guy at the shop.
Right.
And they couldn't find Wi-Fi, and they didn't understand what tethering was.
Yeah.
And I was like, tether off your phones. And they're like, what is that, dude? Hold on. Let me tap in. It was embarrassing. And I was like, I'm not even going to help this.
They're not sending their
what
best.
about the Golden Boys?
Uh-huh.
And they had no idea what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And their level of like conspiracy theory was like Joe Rogan episode 2.
Give us the money.
Dude, fiat currency.
Share the money.
The
They only knew how much
white
deeper it
woman.
goes.
She's on the endangered species list, but boy oh boy, is she adorable. Using her puppy-sized teacup puppy purse and Foxconn factory-made phone, where the factory workers take sewer slides. Here's a tip, ladies. Next time you're making a video about how white people need to step aside, maybe make it less than 20 minutes long, because the way it is right now, I might just fall in love with you and have to marry you, sweetie. I might fall in love with you so much.
Oh, but they've got to spend all that time making it all about them. People even pointed it out with the Artemis 2 launch. So many women on social media making it all about themselves. Not pictures of the rocket leaving the launch pad going up into space. No, it's selfies of them looking up at the rocket with their wow face on. Because, yeah, that's what it's about, isn't it? Euroscepticism is at an all-time high in France and Scandinavia, Germany, and the Benelux countries. Greece still opposes the EU. Italy still does. Austria has some of the largest voting in favor of the right in decades. Too many self-righteous queens of society, basically women. Yeah, women. Sips coffee.
I have to go kill a cop just to impress you. How about that? You wouldn't want that now, would you, baby? Or would you? I'd do anything for you. And that's serious. I would do anything for you.
Maybe white people just overdid it during the Dark Ages, because we used to be a shame culture. There's the idea that you would kill the criminals. You would remove these elements to society that before they could even reproduce in most cases.
What about us burning witches alive?
It seems overblown. Yeah,
It's overblown.
A lot of the stuff.
But there is an idea that witches were women that would live, they would be socially ostracized, and they would come back and they would try to pull in people, like young girls, and say, hey, do this, don't listen to
Only way they
the
can
father
reproduce.
or your pastor even. And this was cultures that they would have to endure seasons that would kill them if they weren't all working together, because they were in environments that were pretty gruesome.
Well, that's what one of the main.
Yeah, don't get sucked into witchcraft and all like that. It's demonic, number one, but number two, it's also gay, because it really is just feminism, the religion. It's just incredibly gay and retarded. So don't fall for that. And ladies, just because your pastor or priest tells you no, that's no excuse to fall off from Christianity, which you can almost set your watch to it. The women who leave the faith and go off and become pagans or witches or whatever, get them talking long enough. So many of them, it's because a pastor or a priest told them no. That's it. No, that's the only reason they're doing that. Or they're mad at their father, especially if their father is an ordained minister. It's sort of like how young socialists, so often they're just wealthy Nepo babies. It really is just they're mad at mummy and daddy. It's the same thing with women who go off and become witches or Wiccans or pagans. It's just, I'm mad at my priest or I'm mad at my pastor. That's all it is. It's just multi-year temper tantrum. And rather than indulging it, they just kind of need to be put across someone's knee and given a good spanking and then dragged forcibly into a church and have the demons cleansed out of them. There's reasons behind the no, don't do it if you think about it, is to keep you safe. Yes. It's for your own good.
Reasons for war is that war takes out the protectors of society.
Yep, all the men, all the healthiest men.
Any man that's healthy and willing to fight gets taken away.
Genetic warfare, ritual sacrifice. Isn't it nice?
I think that is a primary driver of war, though, is to get rid of problematic males.
Yep.
Who would upset the... I mean...
Everything is
like
eugenics.
Bloodletting a certain type?
I mean, 100%. Yes, absolutely.
Getting rid of the people that would protect women and children. You get rid of them, then you can go in. And they're all dead. All the two big wars or whatever, they're all gone. They got drafted in. Hey, you got to fight the bad guys. You got to fight the bad. You fought for nothing. You fought for nothing.
If you join the military, you're essentially just signing away your life to become a tool for you know what. And it's probably a bad idea, even though those guys are cool. And I do like talking to them. They are funny.
Yeah. No, but nobody's shitting on the military or people in the military or veterans. But it's like, what are we even fighting for at this point? When even World War II veterans go on the breakfast show on ITV and just say, yeah, wasn't worth it.
Probably have senses of humor that are up there with construction workers and cops. They're very funny
Some
people.
of the best.
And I can understand why there's a sense of camaraderie and fraternity, etc. But I think it's a really bad idea and you probably shouldn't do it. It also doesn't fix anything. The smorgasbord of issues that we face right now, none of that is solved by getting in a APC and going shooting a guy. That doesn't fit. The guys that need to be, they're not over there, they're over here.
I don't hate
Lie
the
not
Marines,
detected.
and I love America. I know that what I'm doing is patriotic. And if we had more men who stood up and did the right thing, our country would not be in this show with rampant pedophilia, millions of missing children. We as men are abject failures. I've been saying it, I'll keep repeating it. We as men have failed badly. We have not...
And because of that failure, it's going to take revolution. It really is going to take a revolution. What we want is going to take unfathomable levels of things that legally we're not allowed to talk about.
Honored our most sacred duty to protect our children, to protect our women, to root out the enemies inside the gate, to stand up and do what men do. Don't back down. Don't submit to anybody but God. And even then, we have all the infiltration and subversion of so-called religion and whatnot.
Whites are a guilt culture as opposed to a punishment culture. So punishment cultures are cultures where if you steal, they cut your hands off. And white people, they're a guilt culture. If you steal, you are shamed. You're shamed. Social shame for a white person, it's the same sort of area in your brain that torture stimulates.
Hard to do that with people from foreign cultures that's alien to them, and they have no concept of that shame.
You feel physical pain. You remember in high school, if you get
shame.
You get shame. It's like it's worse than physical pain. You'd rather have physical pain than feel shame.
And if you were ostracized from the community, you would be evicted from the village.
You're dead.
And you're dead. You die, right?
If you're socially ostracized in white communities prior to abundance, prior to the just-in-time economy, you'd be a dead man or a dead family.
That's the point of this whole thing, is that there's so many people who are losing it. Yeah. The f***ing battle is this is gonna continue on. This is gonna be raging on for the rest of your adult life. Like, this is not going anywhere.
The whole point of the shaming is that you're shamed because you should have known better. Think about things before you start being stupid. Yeah, but we've imported mass hordes of people into Western countries that are not capable of that type of introspective thought. They've got such low time preference that they're just not capable of thinking things through before they do something stupid. And all of society is paying the price.
The psyop is not going anywhere. So either completely tune out and sink some time into Steam and get comfy in your DX Racer chair and sink some serious time into Steam, or get a grip and learn how to have a sense of humor and have a handle and have some sort of mental tranquility with all this, with people trying to attack you.
I do want to say one thing, because this topic, I mean, this is sort of a black pill topic, but I think that the key is to just amass personal power and get good, even if we're not at the mercy.
Yeah. All you can do is amass power and then wield power. So often, the big mistake on the right has been the avoidance of power, the absolute refusal to take power. And as I've said over and over again, if you do not seize and wield power, your enemies will, and they will seize it, and they will wield it to destroy you. So seize power, wield it against them, destroy them first. They do it to you, do it to them first, and do it to them 1,000 times worse than they could ever possibly imagine doing to you. That's the reality of what we're dealing with. And you're not going to get to the point of seizing and wielding power by purity spiraling. You're not going to do that. You're going to have to make some compromises along the way. You're going to have to deal with realities that don't match up with your ideals or with more principles. You're going to have to do some things that are potentially damaging to more respectability. You're going to have to do and say some things that are mean. You're going to have to be mean to some people and risk not getting invited to the fancy parties. You're going to have to risk not being invited into the club in order to achieve the greater goal, because that's what it takes to win. And that's what's important, winning. Because everything that you've done and everything you want matters not a lick unless you win. And history is not kind to beautiful losers, because there's nothing beautiful about them. They're just losers. Yeah, turn the wheel in your favor and drive it home. Exactly.
Mercy of some sort of system. I mean, when throughout human history would humans not have been at the mercy of some unfair system? Know what I mean?
Never.
I think you just got to get good. Mm-hmm. Just keep every day is a battle, so just get good.
Every day is a battle, so get good. As the Chinese saying goes, losers are rebels, winners are emperors. Exactly.